What is up, my friends? You are very welcome along to the second last day of this summer's transfer window. As we know, all business must be completed before the 11 p.m. deadline tomorrow night. And tonight we're going to figure out, is Liverpool's business done? Or will we have a busy, hectic day tomorrow? So let's get stuck into it. We're going to, of course, go over the Champions League draw as well. I've been reading the comments before I've started, and I might be in the minority here. But I'm not fearful of that Champions League draw. I'm excited by that Champions League draw. Some really interesting ties in there. Of course, some headline games as well. Xabi Alonso's Leverkusen coming to Anfield. Carlo Ancelotti's reigning European champions coming to Anfield. And I'm buzzing about it. No fear from me. I'm looking forward to Liverpool getting stuck in. We're going to be speaking about Federico Chiesa, Liverpool's new number 14. He's officially been confirmed, done his club interview, and lots more today. A couple of loan moves happening as well. And we're all trying to figure out what's going on with the Jet. Do you remember when it used to be the Mercedes Vito van we were all tracking? Well, we've gone up in the world now. Now we're tracking jets. And you've probably seen what we've seen. Some flight tracking experts out there trying to figure out, is Liverpool really going over to Porto, let's say, to try and bring somebody in? The plane was also mentioned as going over to Athens. Right now, I have no idea where we're at with regards to how this window ends. But I do want to speak about my feelings on the window, and of course I'll do that tonight as always. Great draw with good games. Look, really quickly, for anyone who hasn't seen the Champions League draw, let me just go through it for you guys. Liverpool have 4 home games, 4 away games. The 4 home games are as follows: Real Madrid, Bayer Leverkusen, Lille and Bologna. They're the 4 home games that Arne Slot's men are going to have to face. Away from home, Leipzig, AC Milan, PSV Eindhoven and Girona of La Liga. So also Girona owned by the City brand of football club. So yes, it is an interesting one. I'm buzzing about it. I think it's a great draw and it gives us some really exciting games. Right. Mary Nelson's in the chat. How are we? Mary, I don't know if you ever replied to yourself the other night, mate, about you feeling a little bit upset that I was overlooking people who came to Belfast or Dublin or something. I tried to address it on the night. I hope you got a chance to hear it, because that certainly wasn't my intention. I really am grateful to everyone who came out to Dublin, Cardiff, Belfast, Liverpool and every other venue. Right, let's get cracking. So, firstly, what do we want to talk about? It is your show, so I'm going to let you guys lead the conversation. With regards to the guy from Olympiacos, so James Pearce has said there's some speculation linking Liverpool with Santiago Heze of Olympiacos ahead of tomorrow's deadline, but he goes on to say that he's told he's not a target. Now, he hasn't said that Liverpool's business is done, which is interesting. Another one, I think, was it LFC Transfer Room that Lewis Steele was on with? He said that he thinks Liverpool's opportunity to sign the number 6 may be done for this window. But, as I've said, these are all just maybes at the moment. Nobody really knows 100%. Caoimhín Kelleher has been the subject of an offer from Nottingham Forest that Liverpool have rejected as well. The proposed deal would have seen Matt Turner go the other way and Caoimhín Kelleher go to Forest. Liverpool have no interest in that, and it's nowhere near the fee that Liverpool would want if we were to sell Kelleher. And I don't think at this point Liverpool want to sell Kelleher because it's so late in the window. Bastoni, yes please. Look, mate, I haven't got a clue, and that's where I'm at tonight. I'm not, like I said yesterday, I'm going to just reiterate what I've said all along. Where we are right now in the window is, we know we've signed Kiesa. We have to wait for the international clearance, which won't be a problem. We know Georgi Mamardashvili is a Liverpool player after another season on loan at Valencia. But after that, we don't know if Liverpool are going to do any more business or not. We hope so. I've not had anything to say we're done, but nor have I had anything to say a particular player that we are after. There is still time. And for me, I'm going to be honest, I appreciate the signings we've made. I appreciate Georgi Mamardashvili and I certainly appreciate Federico Chiesa, but they aren't the positions that most of us felt were those strongly in need of strengthening in this window. So for me, as things stand right now, this is a 3 out of 10 window. As I've said, I'm not trying to complain for the sake of it. I'm trying to be genuine. We didn't address the two main areas of concern for most of us, which is centre-back and midfielder. We have brought in a utility forward or a versatile forward, and that's cool. And a really good price, really good wages for Kiesa as well. Really good deal, all in. So I've no complaints about the two other deals. I do, however, have complaints that they aren't the positions that most of us would agree we need to strengthen. So we're going to start off with a poll in a moment where I'm going to ask you if you think Liverpool's business is finished in this window or not. But before I do, our first super chat of the night. Would Liverpool sell Nunez if an offer came in for him? Said Stevie Boy. Mate, I can't give you a definitive answer on that question, but there were reports that suggested that he was open to that Arsenal move if indeed Liverpool would have taken the money. Now, I've no idea, but I will say this about Darwin. If he fails or succeeds at Liverpool now, it's on him. It's up to him. He has to knuckle down and get the job done. If he doesn't, and he doesn't succeed at Liverpool, it won't be anybody else's fault but his. So let's wait and see what happens. I don't think Liverpool will be open to a sale this late. Maybe in January or down the line, but it is the transfer window and you never know. Things get crazy at the end. I would bite your hand off for Varela. Guy can dictate pace and pick out anyone if he wants. Think he's a cracking number 6. Would fit in seamlessly, in my opinion, said Farron Davies. Now look, I hope there's something to the Porto Alan Varela stuff. I really do. Because like our friend Farron Davies, I think he could do a job. He's been described as the new Javier Mascherano in Argentina in some port. So let's wait and see if Liverpool can get it done. If it is genuinely a player that we're going after, I guess we're going to find out soon enough. But as of right now, it is just speculation and we have to treat it as such. But let me get this poll, the first one of the night, up anyway. 1 second. Right, so the question I'm going to ask you guys is, do you think our business is finished for the summer? It's a simple yes or no. We'll leave that running in the background, give you guys a chance to have your say, and we'll check back in on it in a few minutes. Inacio is the most likely. No, he isn't. Not from my understanding. I know Liverpool fans, a lot of them, have been speaking about Inacio all summer, but nobody that I've spoken to has suggested that he's likely or even a real target. And again, why would we leave it to the last day of the window after 2 years of looking at Inacio when they're not going to have a chance to replace him, and any potential for us getting him below his new release clause, which is about €60 million, I just don't see it being possible, Stephen, unfortunately, mate. Evening, Craig. Rate the Kiesa signing out of 10. I mean, I'll give it a bash, Callum. Now, obviously, I'm rating this cold. I haven't seen the dude play a second for Liverpool Football Club yet. So I'm going to rate it off the deal and how I view it. So let's look at the deal. The fee. £10 million with €2.5 million in potential add-ons. So €12.5 million is the maximum, €15 million. The wages, the exact same money that he was on at Juventus. He didn't ask for a pay rise to come to Liverpool. He didn't get greedy. He's on the same £81,000 a week that he was on at Juventus. Add to that his first interview where he genuinely looks over the moon to be playing for Liverpool Football Club. It was a lovely moment where he seen the video of his dad scoring in Euro 96, I believe, at Anfield in a group stage game of the Euros, and he wants to replicate that. So for me, from what we've seen, from the price and the wages, I'm rating that an 8 out of 10 signing. I think it's a very, very good piece of business. Financially, from the club side, I think it's incredible, and I don't have any complaints about it. What I can't guarantee, and I don't think anybody can, is how he works out at Liverpool. We're hopeful. We're certainly going to get behind him. He's endeared himself to the fans very quickly from what I've seen as well. So yeah, I think it's a good signing, mate. A good signing, but of course we have to wait until he starts playing before we can really figure out that. One sec, folks. My daughter's messaged me. Gave me so much joy seeing his face getting that first jersey handoff. Yes, he looked absolutely buzzing to be a Liverpool player. Took the number 14 as well, which was, of course, Jordan Henderson's shirt. Xabi Alonso before him wore the number 14. Jan Molby, another famous Liverpool player to have worn the number 14. Right, so Ibu or Kwanzaa against United. It has to be Ibu. It has to be. He's taken his chances since Arne Slot has given him the opportunity this season. And for me, absolutely bona fide, nailed on, has to be Ibu. I think he's been really good since he started the second half of that game against Ipswich onwards. Where's the money, John? Oh, I love that. Craig, I don't do donations normally. I lost my mum 2 months ago. She had terminal cancer. Thank you for doing the uploads and being amazing with your beautiful community. You're a very genuine man. There's a lot to unpack there. And let me start off by saying about your mum. I'm so sorry. With my own mum, when I lost her, I didn't have to look at her becoming iller over time. It was a suicide. It was quick. My dad, I did have to see dying in front of my eyes over the course of a long time, and it's heartbreaking, mate. I'm really sorry that you lost your mum. Nothing is ever going to replace your mum, but I'm really happy that you found some joy, friendship, here with us, and you are very welcome in here, and thank you. I don't ever expect donations or super chats from anybody, but I do really appreciate your sentiments and that you feel comfortable here with us and sharing as well, mate. So much love to you. May your mum rest in peace, and we'll always be here if you need a chat, mate. So thank you for that. Really appreciate it. Jamal said, we definitely got the hardest draw for the Champions League and the Carabao. I don't know why everybody's so fussed about what draw other people got in the Champions League or not. I look at it as a fan and think, these are kick-ass games. And I'm hoping to actually get over to the Leverkusen game. So that should be the game I go over to see. I don't want to go to the Madrid game because obviously I want to be here for the Madrid game. What a massive game. And the Carabao Cup draw, look, it's a home draw. So, you know, anyone in the Auto Cup scheme at least gets a chance to go. And if we can't be beating West Ham, we shouldn't be thinking about winning these cups anyway. So I'm happy with the draw because it gives us a lot of variation, right? And if you look at it, the ones we did get in the Champions League, the really, really tough ties, they're at home. So it's going to be cracking. I can't wait. I'm really excited by it. Do you reckon Kiesa gets minutes against United? No. No. Remember, Federico Chiesa hasn't played a minute this season. So that's why you see him straight into training. He's already been pictured at the AXA Training Centre doing some work. I would say it'll probably be Forest at home after the international break. And probably feels better as well. Give him that introduction at Anfield. Let him feel the love of the fans when he comes onto the pitch. So I think that makes the most sense. It gives him a little bit of extra time to train, get up to speed, and give Arne Slot a chance to work with him as well. Who are we linked with right now? Nobody. But we're also not linked with anybody, if you get me, mate. So I'm not trying to be smart arse with my answer. There is lots of chatter about players that we may or may not be interested in. But it is just speculation at this point. And I like it that way. I hope that Liverpool don't leak these things. I hope we find out about it just as it's getting close to a conclusion. If, of course, there is transfer to be done. Now, before we talk about the speculation of incoming, let's just go back and address a couple of potential outgoing deals. Ben Doak, it looks like, will be going on loan to Hull, according to one of the aggregate accounts. Also on top of that, we spoke about the offer that Nottingham Forest put in for Kelleher, and I really don't understand this from their perspective. Why would you wait until this late in the window to try and get Kelleher? Liverpool aren't going to just cave in. It's not a money thing. Kelleher's not going to try and kick the door down to find a way out. Liverpool would have probably been potential sellers earlier in the window. But right now, Liverpool would have to replace Kelleher. And with all due respect to the offer they put our way, Matt Turner ain't it. So I don't know if they're going to come back in with an improved offer, but it looks like the offer they did come with was a long way short of Liverpool's valuation of Quiveen, so I don't expect him to move on. And if he does, well, we'll talk about that when it happens. Where is Earthworm Jim hiding this evening, said Matthew in Sweden. I don't know. Why? What did Earthworm Jim do? I remember he was around earlier on this afternoon in the Champions League draw. Forest have a few goalkeepers already. They do, but they've been long admirers, Harris, of Queevy and Kelleher. I just don't know why they would have left it this late and went so cheeky with the offer. Man City got an easy draw. Arsenal was a bad draw. I don't mean to be rude, and I really don't mean to aim this at you, but I don't care what City got, what Arsenal got, and what Villa got. We need to take care of our own business, and no matter how easy or difficult Arsenal's draw is, we all know they're not going to go and win the Champions League because they've never going to win the Champions League. So let's just focus on what we're going to do, and that is look forward to some really interesting games of football. And look, 8 games, I'm backing us to get through and get into the knockout stages. They're really interesting games. I'm looking at the flight tracker, or at least the proposed routes for the jet that has been doing some of the work for Liverpool over the last few days. Right now, it is scheduled to leave Liverpool at 9:30 to head to Porto. Let's wait and see, because it won't be too long until we know if that plane's on the way and if it has got anything to do with Liverpool. It's after 9 p.m. now, so wait and see what happens with that one. There was also reports of Athens earlier on as well. It's the same plane currently went from Manchester to Nottingham today. Liverpool, Manchester, and then there's talk of Liverpool, Porto. Could it be a player? Maybe. Could it be a coincidence? Absolutely, maybe. Look, I don't want to get ahead of myself. I'd love it to be Varela. I'd love somebody from the reliable journalist front to go, do you know what? Liverpool are trying to pull off something at the end here with Varela. But let's wait and see. You know, we don't want to disappoint everyone. We don't want to get ahead of ourselves. But we also don't want to give the owners and the club a pass on this window. And that's something that I really want to get across today. Don't be distracted by a new shiny toy in Federico Chiesa. It's a cool toy. It's going to be fun to watch him play. And on its own, it's a good signing. But it hasn't addressed the areas of concern. And here we are now, 25 hours and 57 minutes before the transfer window closes. And we don't know if we're going to get a centre-back. And we don't know if we're going to get a defensive midfielder. But we also don't look like we're going to lose Joe Gomez, which is certainly a plus for me in this window. You know, I think most of us don't want to lose Joe. So if Joe Gomez is going to stay, that's good news. It also looks like Newcastle won't be signing Mark Gay. So if Liverpool's interest is for next summer, well, then he's still going to be, as it stands, a Crystal Palace player as well. Casper's Photography said, can we all laugh at Chelsea again? Well, what's going on with Chelsea? They were 1-0 up last I heard. Are they now losing? But look, it's the Cup, so wait and see what happens. No, actually, it wouldn't be the Cup, would it? Hang on, who are Chelsea playing? I'm confused. They're in the European competition, so they shouldn't be playing League Cup, right? I'm very confused by this. I thought the clubs in European competition don't play League Cup second round. Oh, sorry. This is the Europa Conference League. Silly me. I forgot that they were in the Europa Conference League. That's mad. So, oh my God. Imagine they don't even get through to the group stages of the Europa Conference League. That would be funny after all the money that they've spent. Although, it would fix a headache for them, because we did speak yesterday about the fact that UEFA club rules don't allow them to sell assets to themselves like they did with the hotels. So, let's wait and see. They're winning 3-2 on aggregate. Okay, so Servette need one more goal to take that into extra time. That would be... This is embarrassing enough as it is for Chelsea. I mean, to be in the Europa Conference League and struggling to get into the group stages is hilarious. If we do sign Varela and we sort the paperwork out, do we need to complete his medical in time as well, or is it just the paperwork? Just the paperwork. You can get the paperwork lodged subject to a medical, to the best of my understanding. Or you can ask for a deal sheet, which means you get an extra hour or two if you can show that the deal is quite far along. A lot of these things have been subject to medicals, but once you register the paperwork, then you're registering him as a player. So I would suggest, if it's late, you can apply for the deal sheet, but we're getting a few steps ahead of ourselves as we sit here right now, because we truly just don't know what's going on, whether Varela is realistic or not. Now, of course, keep us up to date. If you guys see the likes of Joyce, Ornstein or anybody posting about Varela or any other business for Liverpool for ins or outs, feel free to let us know. Also, want to just alert you guys as well, don't forget, do drop a like on the stream if you haven't done so, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Craig, you're able to track the flight, and it's operated by NetJets Europe going from Liverpool to Porto. Oh, I know. I have it here in front of me, bro. Don't you worry about that. It's just waiting to see if it's anything to do with us. That's the part we need to figure out, right? And it should be taken off in the next 20 minutes or so. How am I feeling? Honestly, Anthony, I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated with the transfer window. I can't lie. You know, it feels weird because obviously we've made two good signings, two good pieces of business, and I don't have any problems with them. My issue is that I don't feel we're ready to go and compete against the likes of Arsenal or Man City to win the league unless we bring in one of the two positions that we needed to strengthen, and ideally I would have wanted both of them. So as I sit here right now, I'm cautiously optimistic. I don't want to be negative. I don't want to talk about the fact that we may fall apart halfway through the season with an injury or two, but I also don't want to give them a pass again. I don't want a cheap opportunistic signing to distract everybody from the fact that this window hasn't seen us achieve our objectives. I think that's the fairest, most impartial way I can talk about it. I've already seen people in my comments and some of the videos saying I owe the owners an apology, blah, blah, blah. I owe them nothing. They haven't done what they're supposed to do, which is strengthen the two areas that we know we've needed done. They've brought in Kiesa as an opportunistic signing, and it's great. But we still haven't addressed the defensive midfield role or the centre-back role. And even as we sit here right now with Ibu, Joe Gomez, Virgil van Dijk and Jarell Kwanzaa, I would still argue we are one centre-back short of having enough depth. Now that centre-back could be a young centre-back. That centre-back could absolutely be somebody 19, 20, 21 years of age. That will progress over time. But it's a body we need. What position does it's Varela, V-A-R, mate? He's a midfielder. He's a midfielder, much in the mould of a Javier Mascherano type player. I love this comment. Let me just get your super chat up on screen. 1 second, bro. Here we go. So Fimble FIFA said, "It's crazy that John has me excited for a jet taking off." It's class, isn't it? Like, our fans are different gravy. Liverpool fans. It used to be just tracking Mercedes Vitos. Now we've moved on. We've upped our game. Do you know what made me chuckle earlier on? So you may have seen Federico Chiesa speaking about the fact that Liverpool sent him a video of all his goals throughout his career, and at the end of it, him with the Liverpool number 14 shirt. It looks like we've upped our game, you know, because Sociedad obviously sat down with Zubamendi and said, "Look, mate, slideshow, pictures, beautiful countryside, nice food, why would you want to leave?" Liverpool thought, maybe we can work this to our advantage. So sent Kiesa a nice little montage video with number 14 at the end of it, and he's now a Liverpool player. So we've upped our game in that regard as well. What's this? Roosbeth said, "Paul Merson's being a clown." You could have stopped the sentence right there, mate, and we all would have agreed with you, but let's read through the rest of it. Paul Merson's being a clown, says Liverpool's more controlled approach favours United. How does that even make sense? It doesn't, but don't expect him to ever make sense, mate. He talks absolute pony of the highest order, and I wouldn't pay any attention. If Merson thinks we're going to lose, that's probably a good thing for us. So don't worry about what Merson has to say. He's, I don't take anything he says seriously, to be honest with you. Fimble FIFA said, "Rich has been taking notes." Oh, definitely has. Immediately, as soon as the Zubamendi deal was failed, he was like, "Lads, get me some video editors in here, quick, smart. I have an idea." And do you know what? It is a really good signing on its own validity, but it isn't good enough to save the window. So let's have a look. We asked, do you think our business is finished for the window? Very, very close, this one. So far, with about 3,500 votes, 47% of you guys think yes, our business is done, and 53% think no. On this one, I don't know where I am. Honestly, I'm getting splinters on my backside here because I'm very much sitting on the fence. I have no idea whether our business is done or not. A few more notes I want to go through, actually. I'm going to give you some quotes as well from Federico Chiesa about his move to Anfield. I'm sure you've seen them all already, but let's talk about them a little bit more, shall we? So, this is what Kiesa had to say. 1 second. He said, I'm so happy to be a Liverpool player. When Richard Hughes called me, he said, do you want to join Liverpool? And the coach called me. I said yes immediately because I know the history of this club. I know what it represents to the fans. He went on to say about the number 14 and choosing that jersey. It was an easy pick. Liverpool sent me a video at the end of the video, which was me showing my career, the goals I scored for Fiorentina and Juventus. It was me with the number 14 shirt on, and it said it was destined to be. So there you go. That was already pretty much sorted out before he even came over. Liverpool believe, according to James Pearce, the signing of Federico Chiesa represents remarkable value with low risk and a potential big upside. I agree with that as well. If you're talking about him for 10 to 12 million on 80 grand a week, it is a deal that is very easy to see why we did it. Chiesa's watched Liverpool play under Arne Slot, and he turned down more lucrative offers from others, including Saudi Arabia, to come and play for Liverpool. David Lynch said Chiesa has also agreed the same salary as he was on at Juventus, which we spoke about as well, including more lucrative offers from the likes of Saudi. We want to talk a little bit about Ben Doak tonight because Dave O.C. Kopp has reported he could be going on loan to Hull for the season. And then we've done the Champions League stuff. I'll go through more fixtures. Federico Chiesa has set the record straight, by the way, on his exit from Juventus. I don't know if you guys seen this, but this is what he posted on Instagram. Talking to Instagram on Thursday, Chiesa said, it's time to end this jersey with you, black and white fans. I would like to dedicate a few words to thank you for the great affection you've always shown me, affection that I will always carry in my heart. I grew up with you in Juventus, both as a man and as a football player. You've supported me in good times and in difficult times, and for that I will always be grateful. Over the past 4 years, I've had the opportunity to work with players, staff and coaches at the highest level. You've been like a family to me. Even in the most difficult moments, you've helped me stand. I will always carry with me the joyful memories shared. Now, while saying goodbye, I'd like to clarify the issue of my renewal. I've never received a renewal offer from Juventus and therefore have never had a request from me or my entourage to increase or reduce my signing. I was informed that I would not be part of the project even before start of training with the team. Thank you again for your constant support. Thank you, Juventus, till the end. Also on that, you've probably noticed that he speaks really good English, Federico Chiesa. He was enrolled in Florence in an international school where most of the lessons that he was taught each day were taught in English. So he speaks English very, very well. Lucas, are you okay out there? Oh, okay. Benjamin Alford, thank you for your super chat. Mate said, I've heard from a mate of mine, Craig. That's it for us, brother. He's not really hugely sourced, but he knows a few people around the club. But the rumours are no outgoings, no need for incomings. Again, I don't know, Benjamin. I'm not going to say yes or no either way. I haven't got a clue. What I will say is, if the window ends now and we do no more business, it's a 3 out of 10 window for me and not good enough. And it will see us come unstuck over the course of the season, in my humble opinion. Where's the money, John? Thank you for your super chat, my friend. Said, rumour has it John has offered Christian Poulsen and Paul Konchesky a 5-year contract pending medical tomorrow as he needs cheap options. Don't bring me back to those days, mate. Please don't bring me back to those days. They were some dark times, weren't they? Anthony Gordon's linked to Arsenal now. Again, with Anthony Gordon, I don't know if Arsenal are attractive for him. I don't know if there's a possible deal there. I haven't got a clue. What I will say is, though, that would show that Arsenal are serious again. Arsenal look like they're trying to get another forward in this window because they want to make sure that they can attack this league and try to win it. And they're doing everything they can to try and get it done. For us, I don't really feel the same as a Liverpool fan. I feel like our owners or our sporting director and Michael Edwards have shit the bed. I have to be honest and say, as it sits right now, we haven't addressed the main areas of concern in this window, and it has to be viewed as a failure, in my opinion. Again, if you want to talk about those two signings in their own unique conversation, two very good signings. None of us have any problems with them, I don't believe. But it isn't the signings that we needed. We keep losing quality players with potential because there's no room in the team. I'm trying to... I don't think that there's not room in the team. I think what we could have done with some of these guys is loan them, particularly Bobby Clark. I don't understand the need, desire, or want to have sold him. Carvalho and Vandenberg, you're probably talking about very good money, particularly for Sepp Vandenberg, who hasn't played very much football whatsoever for Liverpool Football Club. So to get the money we did for him, rising to 25 million, I think that's a deal that you can say, job done, fair money. With Carvalho, yeah, again, probably a fair deal. But I'll never understand the Bobby Clark thing. I don't get it. Why not just loan him to Salzburg for the year? It doesn't make sense to me. I know there's a buyback option in there, but the player has to agree to that as well. And I don't know if he would agree to that because he didn't look very happy leaving Liverpool. So, I don't even know how to pronounce this one. So I'll read out the super chat. I bet Hughes and Edwards are working on a deadline day blinder to bring Hendo back. No, we've already given away his jersey. No, we don't want Hendo back. No, you're all right. Yeah, no, pass on that one. Thanks. You know, with all due respect and all. No, thank you. So, Justin, that stuff about Plettenberg and Mo Simican, I don't know if that's been if that's an old link or an old conversation, but I've not seen anything today elsewhere to suggest that we're pushing from. We have been interested in Mo Simican, but yeah. So Kiesa is already training right now, by the way. I'm seeing pictures of him training at the AXA Training Centre as he looks to try and get up to speed for the campaign ahead. What's this about a plane? So there's a plane scheduled to take off from Liverpool, the same plane that we have used for a couple of deals already, the Kiesa flight as an example. Now that doesn't mean that this is Liverpool using the plane or Liverpool leasing the plane, but the same plane is leaving to head to Porto from Liverpool at 9:30. That's all we know for certain. We cannot say with any degree of certainty or anything that's got nothing to do with a transfer or even anything to do with Liverpool, but it's fun, right? So Kyle said the same plane Kiesa was on is in Salzburg but flying to Athens tomorrow. Hopefully a few more signings before the deadline. Keep up the great work. I believe that same plane is in Liverpool and is due to leave at 9:30, if I'm not mistaken, mate. But again, as we said, it could be a fun end to this window. I'd like to hear from some of the Liverpool-based or Liverpool beat journalists to give us an indication of if they think our business is done or not. The plane's already taken off, so it must have left a few minutes early then. So it's on its way past Shrewsbury at the minute. There we go. So the plane is already on its way. I love it. Could you please tell me about Varela, as I don't know anything about him? So he's an Argentinian. Yeah, I think he's 23 years of age. About to break through to the Argentinian national team, first team. I think he played in the Olympics, if I'm not mistaken. Had a very good campaign again with Porto. Has been somebody that Liverpool have been linked to for a good 12 months that I can remember. And again, I'm not trying to say to you guys it is Varela. We're just trying to put the pieces together in this jigsaw, if there is indeed a jigsaw. Will Kiesa be available for Sunday? Potentially, but he won't play. He hasn't had any football this season. He won't be up to speed. He won't be fit enough. He won't have had the minutes in his legs. If he's registered and all the international clearance is done before midday tomorrow, Friday, then technically, yes, he would be available to be in the matchday squad on Sunday. But I would expect more likely that he's going to be given his first minutes after the international break when we take on Nottingham Forest at Anfield. It makes more sense from a couple of reasons. One, you get give him the big Anfield welcome when he comes on for a couple of minutes at the end. And two, it gives him more chance, obviously, to work with Arne Slot and the coaching staff. Who's in Porto? Well, we think it could be Varela. Or it could be nothing. That's what I'm trying to say. Don't be putting too much faith and stock in this. Let's wait and see what happens. It's fun. It's cool. But until we have confirmed interest or talk on a player or on anything, it is just speculation. And we got to be honest about that. So look, how are you guys feeling about this window? Because a lot of people seem to be happy that we've done business and maybe looking over the fact that we haven't done the business in the areas we needed to. So for me, I'm rating this as a 3 out of 10 window. What would you guys rate it on? Out of 10, let me know in the chat how you would rate this window as it stands right now. How do you track planes? I think it's Flight Tracker. A lot of people use, mate. So yeah, I think it's Flight Tracker people are using. Nui Osmani said, any news on Trent's contract? No, but to be fair, I didn't expect there to be any before the window shut. You know, we can still negotiate with Trent between now and the time his contract is up, so you can agree that extension at any point. I hope, like yourself, mate, I'm really anxious to make sure that we do get Trent tied down to a new deal, but I've nothing on it right now, no. Right, so let's go through some scores for you guys. Oh, hang on. There's another super chat that I have to get from Casper's Photography. 1 second. Doubt this, but App apparently Hughes is on that plane. I mean, where's the Hughes on the plane part come from? Like, I mean, look, I want this to be true. I so want this to be true. But we got to be careful and cautious about it. So, right, rankings. Loads of 4s, some 3s, a 2.7. Couple of 5s, 3, 4, 2 out of 10, 2 out of 10. Mike Johnson, 3 out of 10. Richard, 2 out of 10. Luca, 4 out of 10. Tommy Westholm, 4 out of 10. Yeah, I'm kind of along those lines as well, folks. I'm somewhere between a 3 and a 4, yeah. It's look, it feels weird because I'm not complaining about the business we've done. I genuinely like both the signings, but it isn't the areas that I think we need to strengthen in. Well, it's one of them. To be fair, I have said I'd like some competition for Mo, and we have gotten some competition for Mo. So I'm not going to complain from that regard. I want to get to a couple of super chats from Adam and Steve in a second, but just before I do, a little bit of information actually on Kiesa and his versatility as a player. So Federico Chiesa has the skill set to play across the front line, according to Liverpool's official website. Opta say 34% of his Serie A minutes for Juventus were spent as a striker, with 21% came in left midfield and 16% on the opposite flank. So he can play right across the front line. Kiesa himself describes himself as a winger, but we know he can operate left and right. And that versatility, I'm sure, was part of the attraction for Liverpool. And we have now got somebody to compete with Mo. So I can't complain that we haven't done any of the business we're supposed to. We have brought in a versatile forward to give Mo a challenge, a rest, whatever way you want to look at it. But that's why I'm giving it 3 out of 10. Right, Adam said, I'm so excited to watch Kiesa play for us. He was one of my personal favourite players to watch outside of the Prem. What's your thoughts on the Champions League draw? I'm excited by the Champions League draw, mate. Some really tasty games in there. I'm hoping to attend the Liverpool-Leverkusen game. Real Madrid, a massive one. Over to play Milan as well. Some good games. I'm not as daunted by it as some people seem to be. I'm more excited just to see it. I love the idea of 8 different teams in the group stages. It makes it less monotonous and boring, I think, than some of the other ones. Steve said, usually Liverpool say when they are done in the market. It's kind of what I was thinking as well, Steve, my man. We have in the past said we're done. You're right. I remember many transfer windows, bro, where they say you're done. We're done in the window. Don't expect anything else from us. And we haven't heard that yet. So that's why I'm hopeful, Steve. Another super chat from Where's the Money John said, in your heart of hearts, does Trent extend? I would say, and again, this is my gut feeling, nothing else. I feel almost certainly will. I don't see how the club can spin this if he doesn't. I don't see how we can let it go longer than a week or two after the window closes. It should be priority number one after this window closes. I hope Trent shares the same vision as the rest of us about him becoming captain someday or finishing his career at Liverpool, but we got to be mindful that it is Real Madrid that are waiting in the wings, and the way his contract situation is, if he does decide that he fancies the Madrid move, there's not much we can do about it. And that is why I've been so angry about Liverpool allowing his contract situation to get to this point. It weakens our side, and it takes a lot for granted that Trent will extend. And if he doesn't, there's going to be some very, very, very unhappy Reds, me amongst them. Because losing Trent is one thing. If you lose Trent for 100 million quid, at least you can sit there and talk about 100 million quid. But if you lose Trent for nothing, that's pathetic. So, Chelsea lost 2-1, but did go through 3-2 on aggregate. So they've just about scraped into the Europa Conference League group stages after signing half of Europe. Are you sure we're signing another player? No. Never said I was. Never once. Not even intimated as much with tonight's stream. I've said every second of this stream since it's been on, I haven't got a clue if we're done, if we're after somebody. All we can talk about is the few little hints that we might be able to pick up, and the playing is one of them. So no, mate, I'm not at all certain that we're signing somebody, nor am I certain we're not. Do you reckon we sign any players after Kiesa? Again, my friend, Coutinho 10, I hope so. We need to, but it's cards close to the chest time for Liverpool right now. The plane is on flight radar 24. Let me get this up on screen so people can see it from Mark Harding. Thank you, Mark. So, Mark has said the plane is on flight radar 24 going to Porto. I guess we just want to know why the plane's going to Porto and if the plane has anything to do with us. Because remember, this isn't a plane we own. This is a plane that we've leased for some stuff, but there's no guarantee whatsoever that this even has anything to do with us. You'd hope it does. But hi Craig, I hope you're doing well. It's flight NJE735K on flight radar 24/7. It looks promising, honestly. Remember how fast we signed Szoboszlai? Yes. Look, you're all getting me pretty excited about this. I'm not going to lie. I'm absolutely... If we sign Varela, this becomes a 7, 8 out of 10 window in my head. If we don't lose Joe Gomez and Nat Phillips at least say doesn't move before tomorrow, at least there's a body there, a fifth choice centre back. So it wouldn't be how I'd like us to go in, but if we brought in one of the two main positions, it's a relatively good window. What's this? Moby tweeted about Varela interview. Would you not have just told me what he said rather than he tweeted about the interview? I've got no idea. Somebody said Hughes was on that plane. I've got no idea where that information came from or if it's credible or not. But God almighty, this is fun. Like, tell me it isn't fun, right? However this ends up, I live for this type of stuff. Honestly, this is fun. Harrison said if we sign Varela, 9 out of 10 window. I'm not going to go quite that far, mate. But look, if we sign Varela, no complaints from me about the window. And I will be on here saying, fair enough, we have a chance. We can do this now. So let's wait and see. As it sits right now, I don't think this is a good enough window. But one of the two main positions strengthened along with what we've done, you can understand the window. Especially after what happened with Zubamendi. Oh, wrong one. Sorry. I put the wrong one up there. Let me just change it. Wait for Arne Slot's presser. We will be clear. I would hope we know before that, mate. And I would expect one way or another, yes, he'd either say our business is done or I don't talk about other clubs' players. That's the standard answer, right? How is the poll so close? It's really close. Because people genuinely don't know. That's why. Do you think our business is finished for the summer? We've had 5,300 votes. 53% of people are optimistic and don't believe our business is finished for the window. 47% believe it is. I'm on the fence. I don't know. Maybe Agent Kiesa might get on the plane to Bastoni and convince him to join. Look, I've never, ever, ever seen any indication that Bastoni was at all possible for us. It's just been more our fans hoping about it, dreaming about it, but it's never been something that I've seen anything on. Why is this plane a big deal? Says Michelangelo. Because it's the same one that we've used. It's the same one that we brought in Kiesa on. It's the same one, and it's leaving from Liverpool, and it's going to Porto. You know, it might be nothing. That's what we're saying. We're trying to be entirely honest and say this could be nothing, or it could be something. Right, we are only 112 likes away from getting the magic 1,000 to keep our streak going. So if you haven't, excuse me, please do hit that like button. And of course, if you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? Let's get cracking. Hit that subscribe button. A couple of little bits of housekeeping I want to get through. Just a reminder that we are live in Liverpool November 15th for another show. If you'd like to come and see us, you can get your tickets with the link that's pinned to the top of the live chat or in the description of this stream. You can also go into the Hot Water Comedy Club direct and buy them from there. It is an all ages event, meaning everybody of all ages can come along on the night, and we hope to see you there. Also, the podcast that I recorded yesterday with Simon, Liverpool fan in Japan, is still up if you'd like to have a listen to that. I'm going on to Simon's channel on Monday to do a bit of work with him over there. So remember to go across and check out Liverpool fan in Japan. He really is, I have to say, I've been lucky enough to do podcasts, episodes, interviews with many people over the years. And there's something about when I chat with him, there's a balance. I feel like it makes great content. And we have differing views on how we see Liverpool, but we try to both back them up with sincerity, honesty, and some numbers and statistics. And I really enjoy the chats with him. I hope you guys have as well. I think it's some of the best content we've made, to be quite frank. I love it. James DeLea said, Craig, I have to agree with you about the Champions League draw. Much prefer to be playing the teams we have at home than away. Exactly. I'm buzzing with it, mate. Look, there's 8 great games there. Madrid at home, Leverkusen at home. I'm buzzing. Bologna at home, Lille at home. It's really interesting stuff, and I think we're going to have some great European nights. Mark said, can you imagine if it is Varela and Inacio? Oh, no, stop it now. Stop it, Mark. Don't be doing that. 2 of them. Nah, come on now. Don't be doing that to me, bro. Deirdre Drake Best said the podcast was fantastic. Thank you. I really did enjoy it, honestly. I came off and I said to Connor straight away, that was brilliant. Like, it was just non-stop. I love the way Si pushed back things to me, asking me questions. I just thought it made for a really good chat. RKSP said it isn't the same plane. Huh? Hang on a second. 1 sec. I don't know then. I'm confused because there's one plane that is scheduled to go from Salzburg to Athens tomorrow. Then there's this plane that left Liverpool going to Porto. As I said, I'm not trying to say this has anything to do with transfer or not. I really don't know. I don't know, but God, it's exciting. It is the same plane, people are saying. There you go. I was told it was the same plane. So yeah, it is the same plane. There you go. So it's the Kiesa plane, as it's being known as now. I love that, the Kiesa plane. It's a long way from the Mercedes Vito van, isn't it? Martin Aston said it is the plane as well. Bricktop said he's trolling us. It is the plane. I love it. I love it. This is why I love our community so much. Somebody comes in to try and say no it is, and then all of a sudden everyone's straight in with going, bitch, we've done our homework. It absolutely is the plane. I know what nuts he's having. Are Liverpool getting Ray and Cherky? No, but there was some talk, Henry, from L'Equipe that Liverpool had contacted Lyon about Cherky. Now, I don't know whether that was prior to the Chiesa situation. I don't know if anything ever came from it. There was only one report that I'd seen, and it was from the French side. That's all I know, mate. You know, somebody's sitting in Porto, right, on the other side now, waiting for this plane to land to see who gets off it. You know that's happening. Somebody's sitting there waiting for this plane to land just to get a picture of who steps off the plane. What else have we got? Moby tweeted this, and then you didn't put in what he tweeted, Steve. So, again, there's pictures, or people in the chat saying, it is the plane, it isn't the plane, it is the plane, it isn't the plane, it is the plane, it isn't the plane. Let's just say there's a plane, just to make it easy. There's a plane that's departed Liverpool heading to Porto. Let's just go with that for now. And that will just make sure we don't have any arguments about if it's the same plane, not the same plane, or whatever. Let's just say it's let's just say there's a plane. Steve Irvin said, we always want to improve, want to make the leap to a league as important as the Premier League. I am calm. I try to work the best way, and the moment will come when it comes. Varela, 28th of August. Ooh. Steve, you're a bad man. You're a bad man, Steve. Don't be getting the hopes up, bro. Oh, lads, you've got me. You're winding me in now. You're getting me on, but I'm on the hook. Right, Acentino said Hughes is a deadline day worker. Look at his last 3 deadline days. Colin said there's hundreds of planes going to Portugal. Yes, but this one left Liverpool. And it's a jet. It's not an easy jet or anything like. This is... Mark Fitchin has once again given us the flight number of NJE 735K being the flight number. I don't know how to feel right now. I honestly don't know how to feel. I don't know if I should be excited, frustrated. I don't know how to feel. I'm really all over the place because I've no idea what's happening here. But I know I love it. Right. Who would be the Porto player? Is Porto near Benfica? Watching for Silva. You hooked me on him, Craig. What a player. So I don't know my Portuguese geography to know what city is near what city. Haven't got a clue. We're all guessing Benjamin Varela. the defensive midfielder or the central midfielder for Porto, and Argentina might be the person at question. Tears, thank you for your super chat, my friend. And always, Benjamin, thank you for your support, mate. Same plane, flew to Manchester at 1 p.m, then back to Liverpool at 8 p.m, now flying to Porto. I hope, mate. I hope. Because I tell you, I did do a bit of research on Varela a few months ago when we'd been linked with him. And I never really got to talk about the research because it never came to anything. But he is somebody that when I read up on his traits and on the style of play, I was excited about. So I'm getting my own hopes up here now. I really am. All this plain talk, it's hilarious, says Macy, man. It's brilliant though, isn't it? Like it is. It's brilliant though. Also, Porto have signed Fabio Vieira from Arsenal. Oh yeah! I forgot about that. Oh my god. I have to send a voice note here. I forgot about that. 1 second. So Connor, I forgot that Porto signed Vieira from Arsenal on loan for the season. I wonder, mate. I need you hooked on Twitter, hounding people. What's the crack? What's going on here? Because I'm all in at this point, mate. There's no coming back for me here. Chancellor Mohada said, my deluded theory, mate, we're all deluded at this point, so don't be feeling bad about that. The plane is on a retainer and has to be available for closing of the transfer market. Hope the family as well. I mean, there's every possibility that plane could be on a retainer. Yeah, there is. Oh God, I'm all in now. I'm excited. Righteous Gamer said, with regard to VVD, Salah and Trent's contract, I wonder if we're getting players set up with wage structures and them seeing what we can offer them. Maybe. I've always said I don't really know what happens with Salah and Virgil. I hope all three extend. In all honesty, I do. I think Virgil and Mohamed, you could absolutely talk about 2 more seasons minimum. I just don't know with Mo if the club and him are on the same page with regards to what those wages might be. Trent, I expect us to have to give him a pretty big upgrade on his contract. I would expect something around 300 grand a week, something like that. But we're going to have to wait and see. I don't know, and I don't think anybody does, because there's been no offers put to them yet. I am, Mike, yeah. I am. I'm telling you, there's a chance. Insert the Dumb and Dumber image in there, mate. When does the transfer window close? At 11 p.m. tomorrow. 11 p.m. tomorrow is when the window shuts. Craig is one of the funniest people on YouTube. You're darn tootin' I am. Again, someday, eventually, my genius will be recognised by the world. You guys are lucky. You got in early doors. You get to see this before, I become the Ronaldo and Messi of YouTube. So you should treasure these days, these hours, these minutes we get to spend together, because I am a national treasure. And sooner or later, the world will realise what you good folks have already realised, that this is where it's at. The humour, the tears, the singing. I'm a triple threat. Got the looks, the singing voice, the acting ability. Is that what I mean? I'm only joking. Please don't take that as anything other than sarcasm. 2 out of those 3 were correct. Mike said, Maka and Varela double pivot. Consider this me air humping, Mike, because that's what I'm doing right now. Air humping. In my mind, I'm humping the transfer window right now, Mike, in my mind. If you could, visualise the transfer window as, like a lamppost. That's where I'm at right now, Mike. Nick said, John's bang pin is on the way to Bermuda Triangle. Hopefully we win the race. I mean, hopefully somebody's just given John a couple of sleeping tablets and told him to have a sleep, wake up on Saturday. And we will tell you what happened then, John. Jeff Bloomberg. Hello, sir. Great to have the famous actor, Mr. Bloomberg, here with us. Said, who are these rumours about? Have a good day. We're all guessing, mate, in all honesty. The rumours are about Varela, is what we're thinking. But again, this could be absolute pony of the highest order, and there could be nothing to it. Did I miss a super chat? Mark's always very good at telling me if I miss one. So, Josh Black, I did. Josh Black said, this plane has the same serial number as the Kiesa one. Well in, Josh. Well in, mate. Ethan Parker said, United spent 7 times more for Anthony than we did for Kiesa. Inject that shit. Absolutely. That deal is going... Look, everybody was laughing yesterday from other clubs, going, signed a washed Kiesa. Let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. Because as you said, we didn't go and pay 100 million quid for a fidget spinner. We've gone and done a great deal for the right price. So, let's wait and see. Matt said, any news today? I've done 2 poos and 3 cups of coffee, so it's a pretty productive day in that regard. Sorted out my accommodation for my work trip to Turkey in October. So yeah, I've been pretty productive on that front, mate. Yeah, pretty good day all round. With regards to the transfer window, we've had an offer from Nottingham Forest for Queevy and Kelleher, which the club have turned down. That offer was weirdly Matt Turner and some money for Kelleher. And that's been turned down. It's nowhere near what Liverpool would like, according to James Pearce. All rubbish signings. Are they? Really? That's I mean, Nick Rich as in spirit is obviously, you know, we might as well pack up and end the season, lad, because Nick, who we've only just met here a moment ago, said they're all rubbish signings. All of them being the 2, mate. One of them being a goalkeeper who put up similar stats and numbers to Alisson did at Roma when we paid 66 million, was also one of, if the best goalkeeper of the Euros, and we signed him for about 30 million quid. But we're supposed to believe, because you say they're all shite, they're all shite. Kiesa, who again put up decent enough numbers last year after coming back from an ACL, 10 goals, 3 assists, 34 km/h speed. But again, some fella who I've never met or heard of on YouTube told me that they're all crap, so might as well just pack it in. That, you know, there's no point in going on. Teddy said, let's not get our hopes up. It's all just a bit of fun, Teddy, mate. At this point, I've been honest all the way through this show and said, I don't know tonight what's happening, but I know I'm hooked on it, Teddy. I know I'm loving it. I know I'm having a bit of fun with it. But I'm also mindful that as things sit, I'm not happy with the transfer window as well. And nobody's pissed all over our dreams yet. That's another thing I want to make really clear right now. Nobody has told us categorically we're done, or that this has nothing to do with anything. So let's have a look-see at the poll and see if it's moved at all. We said, do you think our transfer business is finished for the summer? So far, again, a very close poll. 53% say no, they don't believe our transfer business is finished for the summer. 47% say yes, it is. Again, we have 25 hours and 11 minutes remaining in the transfer window. Who's your dream signing no matter the price? Bellingham or Musiala? Imagine Alan Varela to Liverpool. Here we go. I know. I'd love it, mate. I'd love it. We will lose out on honours due to the squad depth. As we see here, Josh Want, I feel the same. Look, I have to try and explain this in 2 ways. For the signings we've made, I'm happy with. I'm very happy with. For the signings we haven't made, I'm very annoyed with. So you are right, mate. I still believe we are short of enough quality depth, if we have an injury or two, to really go and dream about winning the big ones this summer. So Connor said, not even the parody accounts on social media are running with this playing thing yet. Just wishful thinking so far. And that's what we've tried to say all along. We don't really know what's happening now. But we will figure out when somebody steps off that plane in Porto if it's got anything to do with Liverpool or not. Because I'm absolutely certain somebody will be there with a camera. Can I have an update on the plane tracking at least? I'm sure somebody in the chat will tell us where that particular plane is now. It was about to leave British airspace a little while ago. But I'm sure somebody will give us an update on exactly where it is. Crimbo Slot said, we can dream for these 25 hours. Thanks, Craig. Exactly. And isn't that part of the fun of being a football fan, mate? That we get that little dream. If it's a dream about a league title, if it's a dream about a potential signing, these are the little moments that I live for in life. You know, these moments where we get to wonder. Because something could happen that destroys this feeling. And it'll feel like an anticlimax. But right now, I am pumped full of adrenaline. Aaron said, fly from Lyon to Liverpool. Cacaret. I mean, the only player we'd really been linked to from Lyon, mate, was Cherky. But I think after bringing in Kiesa, there's no need for him. So Steve said, the plane Kiesa came on is in Mallorca, call sign DCLIK. So again, we've tried to say whether it is or isn't the same plane. There is a plane. And if what really sucked me in tonight was the comment from Varela that Moby Hake, I believe, tweeted, that somebody in the chat posted in earlier on, that said on the 28th of August, he doesn't know what his future will be, spoke a little bit about the Premier League, let's wait and see what happens. One sec. Andrew Webb said, Craig, what do you think of the new Champions League format? Honestly, it's hard to figure out exactly what it's like until we're living the experience, you know. I love that we've got extra games. From a greedy perspective as a fan, I love that there's 2 extra games. I'm also really on board, Andrew, with the idea of the 8 different games, mate. I love the fact that we don't have the same 3 teams home and away like we used to. 8 different teams, 4 home, 4 away. The more difficult of the fixtures, I think we've been lucky enough to get at home. So I'm really excited, Andrew. Really excited by it, mate. Yeah, looking forward to hopefully getting over. I'm trying to get to the Leverkusen game. That's the one I'm trying to get to and attend in person. So yeah, I'm excited for a few reasons. So Callum said, what's the plan for tomorrow's stream? Much love. Honestly, mate, as I sit here right now, I don't have a plan for tomorrow because I don't know if we need to plan. I am available all day. That's one thing I will say. I've cleared my schedule. I was asked to do a few bits and pieces with a few radio stations and a few other bits and pieces that I've turned down because I'm focused on Anfield Agenda tomorrow. Anybody else that's tried to bring us on or get us on to their shows, no. Tomorrow I'm here, I'm focused, I'm ready if that happens. But I don't know what the plan is yet, mate. I'm in reactive mode at the minute. TOTT2KZ1, thank you, mate, for your super chat. Said, I'm crazy enough to follow the plane to Portugal, work out 80 different ideas what's going on there, lose sleep over it. Why is there? You're damn right I am. I'm the same, mate. I'm absolutely on for the long shift tonight. I'm going to be sitting on my phone, my computer, looking at everything, looking at any possibilities. Until somebody tells us it's done and dusted, I'm a dreamer. And I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us. You know the rest. Somebody said stop joking about the dead. I didn't say anything about any dead people, Josh. Don't remember saying one damn thing about it, mate. Sorry. I don't know if that's at me or somebody in the chat and I've missed something, but I certainly would never mock the dead, mate. I think I've done all of those. What's this from Mark? 1 second. So that plane from Lyon is an Everton deal. That's for a transfer Everton are trying to get done for Mangala. So that's a plane going to sort out Everton with a Manchester City reject defender by the looks of it. So thank you for that one, Mark. So you can forget about the Leon one. That's got nothing to do with us. The new Champions League format does favour the better teams like Liverpool. I think even the old one did, though, to be fair. I mean, you still had pot 1, pot 2, pot 3, pot 4. So it favours the bigger teams the same as the old one, I guess. But look, I'm just buzzing by the fixtures. I don't know how we couldn't be. Again, to have a look at them. Our home games, Real Madrid, reigning European champions. Bayer Leverkusen, obviously Xavi Alonso returning to Anfield with his all-conquering, unbeaten German title winners. Lille, Jonathan David and co, they're coming to Anfield. And Bologna, new to the Champions League, the side that Thiago Motta guided into the Champions League and then departed for Juventus. And then away from home, we've got Leipzig, obviously Dominic Soboslai's former club. We have got AC Milan, which, you know, we've got plenty of history with in Europe as well. PSV Eindhoven. Arne Slot will get a little visit back over to the Netherlands. And then we finish up with one of the City brand of clubs in Girona, away from home as well. So we don't know when the fixtures are going to be. That will be announced on Saturday. They're working on all of the schedule and stuff at the minute. Okay, I get the comments now as well about the talking about the thank you, Mark, for that. What's this one? Really hope Gomez and Kelleher stay to provide depth. I've not seen anything to suggest that there's a deal closed for Gomez. And the fact that Newcastle don't look like they're going to be able to get Mark A from Crystal Palace, I don't expect Gomez to leave at this point. But again, I've not heard anything in either way. Wish we were talking about potential signing instead of planes. So do I. But, you know, it's still fun. And look, there will be some more outgoings potentially as well over the next day or two. We know that Stefan Bajcetic is going to complete his loan move to Salzburg to go over there and work with Pep Linders. Barca did try to come in last minute and hijack that deal, but the right choice was for him to go to Salzburg. So we'll see how he gets on over the next season. We spoke about Owen Beck going on loan to Blackburn. There's a lot of talk as well about Ben Doak going on loan to Hull City, and that makes more sense now that we've brought Kiesa in, because we're not going to be left short for numbers there. So yeah, some more few bits and pieces. We won't see a move for Jayden Danns, of course, because he currently has a back injury, so he's out for I think another 6 to 8 weeks. Kumas has had a good start to his loan spell as well, scoring I think both of his first games. So yeah, keep an eye on that market as well. There might be a couple of young players going out on loan before this window shuts. Craig, why were we in pot 1 for the Champions League when we didn't qualify last season? It's based on the coefficient, Lewis. So it's based on a score from the last, I don't know how many years they do the coefficient on, but it's based off basically your history in European competition and your point score. And Liverpool were into the top 8, so that's why we're in pot 1. It used to be that it had to be the winners of the leagues in the old one or the current holders of the Champions Leagues who would go into pot 1. But now it's done on coefficient. That's why you see Aston Villa, by the way, in pot 4 as an example. Craig, I'm hoping, because it's at the stage of the transfer window, we'd have a very poor old video Connor of Sky Sports freezing his balls out with the AXA. Do you know what? I always moan about Sky Sports quite a bit, but I do really like Video Connor. I do. I think he does a very good job. So, yeah, let's hope that if he has anything to do, it's not standing outside freezing his ass off. Oh, it's not that cold at the minute. Exciting stuff. So, Madrid have equalised in that game, by the way. A Madrid penalty. Shock horror. Madrid getting a penalty. Are you? Oh, wow. That's a surprise. They don't really get very many penalties in the League of Madrid, do they? What do you think about our games in the Champions League? I think they're really good. Yeah, look, 8 good games to look forward to. All of them intriguing in their own unique way. The ones that we have at home, I mean, I'd much rather have Real Madrid at home than have to go over to the Bernabeu to play them. Leverkusen as well. It'll be interesting to see and welcome Xabi Alonso back to Anfield. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Right, let's check back in on this poll. So we've now had, 7,400 votes. And we asked, do you think our business is finished for the summer? 47% say yes, and 53% are optimists saying no, our business is not finished for the summer. Prediction for United on Sunday. I'm going to go with a 2-1 win. I'm not going to give you my 11 prediction because I'm recording that and it's going to go out on Saturday, which will be my day off. So yeah, I'm recording the preview. I did record previews for the Irish Guys channel, by the way. The Irish Guys running a prediction league this year, and he asked me would I film my predictions from this week, which I have and sent over to him. So shout out to the Irish Guy as well, by the way. Always somebody I got along really well with, and happy to do it when he asked. It feels weird though saying the Irish Guy, especially when I'm Irish as well. Like, so the other Irish guy, shall we say? And so he's genuinely somebody who I get along really, really well with. I've met him in person a few times as well. He's a good lad. He is a good lad and a great content creator, and always happy to do little bits and pieces like that for a good man like him. Right, Craig, do you think we will sign anybody else? Said Kieran Lynch. I wouldn't know either way, Kieran, is the honest answer, mate. I hope so, and until we're told otherwise, you know, we can dream, but we don't know right now is the honest answer. Will you be live all day on deadline day like last year? No. I don't see the point in it. What I'll probably do tomorrow is put out a video at about 4 or 5, giving you an update on if anything's happening, and then come back on live at about 8:45 or 8:30, maybe all the way through. It kind of depends on if we have stuff to talk about or not. I'm not going to just come on for the sake of it, just for views or whatever. If there's stuff for us to talk about that justifies a longer stream or whatever, absolutely. But I'm not going to waste everyone's time either. So we'll wait and see what tomorrow brings. But still plenty of time tonight, so don't be going anywhere. If you haven't, don't forget, drop a like, hit that subscribe button. We do appreciate it. And don't forget to check out our Clips channel as well. I really would like to get the Clips channel to get that YouTube silver play button, which of course means you have to get it to 100,000 subscribers. So if you've never subscribed to our Clips channel, or maybe didn't even know it existed, please do check it out. You're going to get bite-sized bits of content, the best bits from the live streams, some unique made for the Clips channel content as well, and all of it would be amazing. To get a second silver play button for the Clips channel would absolutely make my life complete. Rob Eilers Elite, welcome to Anfield Agenda FC, my friend. Appreciate you. I've heard we're going for Bastoni from Inter Milan. That rumour's been kind of around all summer. I don't know. You could say to me right now, Craig, I know for a fact we're going to sign Johnny Awesomenstein, and I wouldn't have a clue. But that's a fucking cool name, actually. Johnny Awesomenstein. That's it's not a bad name. Anybody out there having any kids? Johnny Awesomenstein. You could do a lot worse. Do you really see where we would sell Gomez tomorrow because we won't have any chance for replacement? I've not seen anything to say that anybody's even put in an offer. Palace don't look like they're going to sell Mark Gay to Newcastle. So I would say no. Not there anyway. Villa, I think they're trying to get money to get Geertruida in, if my memory's right. They're trying to move a player or two around to make that feasible for FFP. So yeah, at this moment I would certainly not expect Gomez to go anywhere, unless something very drastic happens. And as you've said, you'd have to have a replacement. You can't let Gomez go now and not have a replacement. Antoango says Johnny Awesomenstein is an amazing player. I've seen clips of him play. He's on that jet, mate. That's what we're going over to Porto to look at. It's Johnny Awesomenstein's over there now, contract ready to go. Gertruda joined RB, Red Bull Salzburg, Leipzig. Fab said Simakan to Al Nassr. Isn't that such a shame? Like, honestly, isn't it? Mo Simakan, a young, talented centre-back, basically thrown away his career now to go over to Al Nassr for a payday. I genuinely... I'll never... How do I say this? People go get paid. I get it. Make that money. But it's not great for his career, is it? You know? But look, again, I don't know what motivates the dude. Maybe he does want to make a few pounds, and there's nothing wrong with that either. But from a playing perspective, at that stage of his career, it's not great. I'm back, Craig. You still look as good as ever. Keep up the superb work. It's looking fantastic, says Rapilers Elite. Thank you. Thank you, mate. I really do appreciate your kind words. Some footballers are mercenaries, only care about money. You see, I don't want to judge them in that way either, right? Because, as an example, I grew up kind of a working class family. I was never short of anything. Never had any huge luxuries in life. But I was loved, I was fed, I was safe. Some footballers can grow up in levels of poverty that we couldn't even comprehend. So I would certainly never ridicule anybody for taking the financial route, especially if they're going to be supporting a couple of generations of their family or whatever. I just always feel that it's a shame from their career perspective if they're not going to be able to look on it and win a load of trophies. But as I said, if your goal going into this as a career is to make money, look after your family, I'm not going to judge anybody on that either. Each to their own. I just think it's always a shame a good young talented player like that making the move to a league that nobody's going to give a shite about, in all honesty. But if it looks after his family, I'm not judging him for that. John Murray said, Craig, just finished work, so only just came in. Do you think we'll sign somebody before it ends tomorrow night? It would be a guess, John, in all honesty, mate, and I don't know is the real answer. We're in this weird limbo at the minute, John, where nobody's told us we're done. Nobody's told us we're not done. Nobody's told us that this plane going from Liverpool to Porto has anything to do with Liverpool. And also nobody's told us it has nothing to do with Liverpool. So we're all in this weird little bubble at the minute of guessing, trying to figure out, dreaming. But the truth is, bro, I haven't got a clue. Oh, on the mugs. On the mugs. I don't know how to phrase this, so I'm going to be blunt about it. The cost of posting those mugs are absolutely despicable. As an example, today we posted some mugs out. We posted some to Boston, to Florida. We posted mugs in Ireland. We posted mugs to the UK. And would you believe, and I'm not joking, to post a mug from my house to the same country, €9. Not insured. To post the mugs to the UK, about $9.50. And that's what the post office are charging us. So I can't in good conscience sell these mugs, because I cannot look people in the eye and try to justify those type of prices for postage. It's disgusting. So unless I can figure out a courier or some other way to get those mugs dispatched for a far more reasonable postal, I can't do it. I'd rather just keep them and give them out to people as and when I meet them as gifts to say thank you. It's crazy. I would have assumed that you're talking about £4 or £5 to post a mug. I would have thought that was reasonable. But yeah, I can't say, here, buy a mug for £12 and it's £9 delivery. Like, that's just taking the piss. What else we got? Florentino Luis would be a top signing. I don't know if Benfica are going to weaken again, because didn't they just move on João Neves to PSG in this window, if my memory's right? Would you sell Nunez in the next 24 hours if a worthwhile offer came in? No, because we've no way to replace him. Would I have sold Nunez in this window if the club had somebody that they wanted to bring in, I would have supported whatever the club's decision was on that. So, as an example, if Darwin had have wanted out and we sold him and we brought in ENQUIRIES or another striker, then I would say that's the club's decision and I get behind it. But right now, this is how I view the Darwin situation. I don't want to hear any more of his social media moaning. I don't want to see his snotty little posts. I don't want to do anything other than him knuckling down and doing his job and trying to figure out a way to put the ball in the back of the net. And then he can do whatever he wants. But he needs to knuckle down and prove his worth right now. Diogo Jota, as things stand, is the number 9, or at least the starting centre forward. Darwin has to convince Arne Slot that he's the guy. And it's up to him to do it. And if he doesn't do it, it's on him as well. So, yeah, no more pussyfooting around, no more anything. Just do your job. Just knuckle down, work hard, show that resilience that you posted about. I got really frustrated when, I think it was Matt Thielen of LFC Transfer Room, I think, said that Darwin was open to the opportunity to join Arsenal. And again, I don't know where Matt gets his information from. I don't know if it's real. I don't know if it's not real. But if it is real that he was open to it, I'm pretty annoyed about that. I can't lie, because the reason he hasn't been a success so far at Liverpool is not because of you or me or Jurgen. It's down to himself. And if he thinks running away to Arsenal because it's London would have made that better, then that's a pussy's way out, in my opinion. If you're going to make it in the Premier League, make it at the club that gave you the chance in the Premier League. Make it at the club that backed you in the Premier League. And don't even entertain moving to another Premier League club. So, as I said, I don't know if it's real or not, but if it is, if there's any truth to it being open to it, I feel a little bit let down by it, to be honest. Essex Copoid said, what did I miss? What's this about a plane? Okay, how do I describe this to make myself not sound like a lunatic? So there's a plane that left Liverpool and was heading to Porto. It's in the air at the minute. We know it left Liverpool. We don't know who's on the plane. We don't know if it's anything to do with Liverpool FC. And we're all just trying to figure it out. That's genuinely where we're at, mate. Varela playing tracking rumours now. Oh, yes, Alex. Oh, yes. We're going to be all over this, bro. You know, Liverpool fans don't just track Mercedes Vitos, mate. We've moved on to planes now. We'll track yachts, everything. If motherfuckers on a jet ski coming over here, we'll be tracking that bitch. Don't you worry about that. Does this mean you despise Mason Mount because he joined another Premier League team? What has Mason Mount got to do with me? I don't give a shite about Mason Mount. I'm glad he didn't join us. I'm talking about our boy who was brought in for really big money and was open to moving to another Premier League team. How you've managed to shoehorn Mason Mount into this conversation is a level. The only thing I'm glad for Mason Mount is that it's got nothing to do with us and that we don't have to look at him stinking it up in the number 7 shirt. That's all I'm grateful for with Mason Mount. Again, I feel like you're another smart arse who isn't clever enough to come in and have a debate with me about this type of stuff. And it's a very weird leap you've made there. Do I dislike Raheem Sterling because he went from Liverpool to City? Yes, I do. Very much so. I'm praying for a miracle with the centre-back situation. We need one badly. Weirdly, Charlie, I read that as going, I'm praying for a miracle with the centre-back situation. We need one, Baldy. That's how I read that post, mate. So there you go. Why was I timed out? No idea, Mark, because I wasn't the one that timed you out. But I'm sure... What's this? Cool. Thank you, Connor. Yeah, Mark's messaging me now to tell me why you were timed out, mate. So I'll be able to give you an answer to that question in a second. I mean, this is getting a timeout, definitely. Right. Craig, sell the mugs at the comedy club show. I won't be able to bring them across. The last time we drove over, so we were able to fill up the boot of the car with stuff. I've only got 10 kilo hand luggage gone over for the Liverpool show, so there's no way I'm bringing all the mugs over. I'll just give them out to people over the years as I see them and meet them. Most likely, or post a few to people I know, like stuff like that. Are we getting Varela? Honestly, Scallywag, I don't know, mate. I haven't got a clue. We're dreaming about it. We're tracking planes, but I don't know is the honest answer, mate. So, Mark, apparently you posted the same tweet from a fake David Ornstein account twice, and you were told twice it was fake. And that's why you were timed out. So, again, it's over with now. It's done and dusted, but don't worry about it, mate. A timeout's nothing. You know, you're in there. It's sorted out now, Mark. Don't worry. Don't give it a second thought, mate. We should have kept Fabinho. Nah, his legs were gone. His legs were gone, Adam. Remember, like, I understand it. It's easy to look back on players' time at the club and think of their best time. I totally get where you're coming from, but it was the right time for Fabinho. And for us to have gotten the money basically we paid for him as well, after the service he gave to the club, I think that was the right deal. Now, of course, we haven't gone in and replaced the man, and that's a conversation that's worth having. Adam said, honestly, Craig, loving the show, sitting watching with the kids. Well, hello to Adam, Jameer, and hello to his kids as well. I do hope you guys are well, and thank you for watching. Really appreciate your support. Craig, I think Firmino had 2 seasons left in him. God, do you know what? That one hit hard. Bobby leaving hit hard. I love that he got that goal in front of the Kop in the 7-0 whooping of United. That's a memory I'm going to take with me. And I look across, I've got a Bobby Firmino painting on my wall. I love Bobby. How can there not be a plan B after the Zubamendi fiasco? Jordan, that would be my thought process as well, sir. But, you know, Lewis Steele, I think, was on with... I'm trying to get this right because I don't want to do someone a disservice. So Simon Jones for the Mail said, the door is ajar as Liverpool monitor late market moves with eyes on midfield and defence, but Everton's Jared Branthwaite will not be one of them. So again, journalists there talking about potential business still in the last part of this window. One second. Connor, Anfield sector. Can you have a look there, please? Ajax have named Jordan Henderson captain. Mark's already sent it to me. 1 second. I'm just going to take a breath before I read this out. I cannot speak to how strong, reliable this source that Anfield Sector have posted is. It's a guy called Julio Pavoni. I don't know anything about this source. Anfield Sector, who are a very, very good Liverpool aggregate account, one of our favourites. We think they do great work. They say Liverpool wants Alan Varela. Boca retain 20% of a future sale, and Alan Varela is the captain of Porto. The journalist is somebody who has followed Boca Juniors, is part of Boca Juniors, is an Argentinian outlet that he works for, TYC Sports, so a genuine outlet. He's got 62,000 followers, and he's reporting that Liverpool want Varela. Put your hands up if you're not going to be sleeping tonight. I'm just processing. Bear with me. I'm processing this. There, look, loads of hands up in the chat. I knew it. Oh, 1 second. Stefan Bajcetic has completed his medical at Salzburg as well. We're hearing a loan from Liverpool to be completed on Friday. And Varela follows this journalist who posted about the Liverpool interest. Varela also has a 60 million release clause in his contract. I got a feeling. Ooh, ooh. Sabrina! Get the tissues! Get the tissues.
Stop calling.
It's red panty night.
I don't have any red ones.
Get the tissues. It looks like it's happening. We're tracking planes, but we're in Porto. This is the madness, love. This is the madness. So if something sharp pokes you in the back tonight when you're asleep, it's not me. It's not me.
I'll turn around and see what it is. Am I going to promise them?
I'm not going to be sleeping tonight, so, you know, expect me to be walking around the house like a lunatic.
Wait, are people moving?
We don't know. We've got our plane tracking experts here following planes, and then so it's a little something like this. There was a plane that Liverpool had been involved in, maybe had on a retainer for the end of the window. It left Liverpool to go to Porto. We don't know, as Liverpool fans, if it has anything to do with us or a deal. We just know a plane left Liverpool to go to Porto. But then, a journalist from Argentina said Liverpool wants Alan Varela, who used to play for Boca Juniors, and who Alan Varela follows on social media, said Liverpool want to sign him. He plays for Porto.
Porto! How very strange.
So
Dots are being connected.
dots are being absolutely connected. And just so people know I'm not a liar, £9 to post the mug. Am I correct?
It costs more to post a mug than it costs to make the mug. In some cases.
There you go. Anyway, White Hammer said, Q James Pearce saying Liverpool not interested in Varela. Well, that would mean we are, though, so there you go, White Hammer. As it stands, Rich's crescendo is looking, yeah, absolutely. This qualifies as a crescendo, definitely. Alex Cooper said, who would have thought a plane would make us excited? This is why I love it, mate. This is why I love this transfer window stuff. It's for moments like this. Kieran Lynch said, Dave OC Cop just tweeted saying it as well. Lads, this is possible. You know, we've got one. And Dave OC Cop, to be fair to him, has been getting some decent information. I don't like him, I'm going to be honest about that. But he's been getting some good information, so credit where it's due over this window. And he said Liverpool want to sign Varela Porto value him at 90 million euro. Boca have a 20% sell-on clause. You would imagine that if, and it's a big if because we're still trying to figure this out, if we are sending a plane over, that this is at least feasible in Liverpool's eyes. Mike said the dots are currently being connected. Absolutely, Mike. Absolutely. So, and to think they mocked us for talking about planes earlier on, folks. To think they were mocking us. So, there is one differential I will talk about here. So, they're saying they want about £75 million or 90 million euro. But if the man has a £60 million release clause, I don't understand how they feel like they can demand more money. That I don't get. That's the whole point of a release clause. So if there's a release clause and Liverpool either give the player the money to trigger it or Liverpool trigger it, I don't know what the mechanism is in that clause, you would imagine that they can't really get in the way of it. Porto, Boca have a sell-on clause in there as well at 20%. They signed him for 15 million euro, so it would be an incredible profit for Porto. That's kind of where we're at the minute. Brian Atkins said, hate to burst the bubble, but this is never going to happen. You see, Brian, you can't burst the bubble, mate, because you don't know, nor do I, and I'm not trying to say you're right, I'm right, you're wrong, vice versa, Brian. What we don't know, Brian. We can't say it will happen, we can't say it won't happen. But if we take it for granted that this has something to do with us, the plane, if we can just get to that point, Brian, then I would say if the plane is something to do with us, and I would imagine Richard Hughes or somebody will be spotted getting off that plane after 11 if it's the case, you would have to suggest that we at least deem it feasible, or we wouldn't be sending a plane over to negotiate. So, this report here said, a different journalist now, saying Liverpool making one last attempt for Alan Varela, had contacted 2 weeks ago and were told 90 million euro. Again, I don't know right now. I don't know, but it looks like we're at least at the dance right now. Roosbet said Coldplay was in Dublin performing on Grafton Street. Just saw the video on their channel. Very cool. I'd seen that they were recording a video. I think it was part of a music video. I seen the stuff myself, and they were on Grafton Street. Chris Martin was there, as you said, but I think it's part of a music video or something they're doing. Of course, they're in Dublin for shows as well. Mike Briggs, you didn't put in a comment, Mike, but thank you for your super chat. I'm working my way through some more now. Mohammed said, Craig, what position does Varela play? He plays as a midfielder, mate. He plays as a central midfielder. Cal said, love the positivity again in the community. Heard rumours that Zubamendi was a genuine target but may actually have been a plan B. Thoughts? Could be. Don't know. What's this one? Another journalist said Liverpool inquired about Varela. They've been following him. Boca are aware of the situation. Boca retains 20% of a future sale, and they're talking about a transfer of $50 million, which would be about £40 million. Which again, the numbers seem to be all over the shop here. We've had 90 million, 60 million, 40 million. And I love the positivity as well, Cal, by the way. Now look, if you're in for the first time with us, do hit that subscribe button, my friends. You heard it here first, lads. I'm joining, said Alan Varela's mind. I'm made up, mate. A bit like yourself. See what I did there? See what I did there? Danny, how are you, bro? And again, thank you. I know your name isn't really Danny, but I'm not going to out your real name in the chat because that's private between our interactions. But welcome in, my man, and thank you for your comment. Sticks and Stones said, just went to typed my password in at work and had to delete Varela and type my actual password. Guess I want him in. He's got a good long pass on him. Mate, I laugh at that because I can imagine myself doing that as well. Typing in stuff that is not my password and then wondering why it's not working. So yeah, just tell your computer that Varela is the answer and it doesn't matter what the password actually is, that it has to respond. Another super chat in from James DeLea said, Ivan says 70 million buyout clause. You just have to love Ivan. I do love Ivan. I'm going to say this again. We're very much Team Ivan Schwackhoff on Anfield Agenda because we like him. We like the respect and kindness he's shown to us in any correspondence. We know it's all a bit of fun and we're definitely Team Ivan. So we're happy he's changed his mind on his retirement from his journalistic endeavours because Mr. Schwackhoff is a class act and game recognises game. Isn't that right, Ivan? Right, loving the stream as always. Craig, if we sign Varela, how would you rate this transfer window? Maybe a bit of a redemption for the Zubamendi mess. So, Emma, right now, my friend, if we keep Joseph Gomez and we brought in Alan Varela, I'm giving this a solid 7.5 out of 10. I've upped it half a point from earlier on. This would be... I'll tell you what. I'll go one step further, Emma. And feel free to clip this up, by the way, because I know people love to bait me on things. If we get Varela signed, and if Gomez stays, and if there are no more departures, I'm going to say fair play to everybody with regards to recruitment. And I am going to say that credit is due. And I'm going to give that credit, like I've always promised. People sometimes get conflated and think that I like being critical of the structure or the way we do things. I very much don't. I want us to dream that we can go and win the league. I want us to fully believe that that's possible. And if, and it's a big if, Varela is done, I will believe that we can genuinely go and challenge for the league title. And I, as a Liverpool fan, will be very happy about that. And I will put my hands up and say, well done. Well done to everybody on the recruitment side. We have done pretty much what we needed to. And I've never been afraid to do that. So I'm somebody that tries to be fair. I give credit where it's due, and I call stuff out when I believe it needs to be called out. So that's genuinely where I am. Danny said, one good signing could turn this window around. 100%, bro. And there will be no happier man than me on that. Is Varela Argentinian? He is. He is. Not to throw this around, but he has been described previously as the new Javier Mascherano. So, this coming in from Peter Rourke said Nottingham Forest are preparing to make an improved bid closer to Liverpool's £25 million valuation for Caoimhín Kelleher before tomorrow's deadline in a bid to persuade the Anfield club to sell the Republic of Ireland international. So, if we did sell Caoimhín, I'm going to be fair because there's a risk involved in it, because obviously we'd be losing a very good bona fide number 2. We know we've already signed Georgi Mamardashvili, but we also know he will be unavailable for us until next season. So I'm going to be fair here and say if Kelleher leaves, I understand it. I understand the club side of it. I understand Kelleher's side of it. And Yaros as backup for one campaign, if needs be, until Georgi Mamardashvili comes in. I think that's an understandable risk, particularly allowing Caoimhín to go and become a number 1. So that's how I am with that one. If Kelleher leaves and we don't get a replacement in with Yaros there, and I do think Yaros is a good keeper, I'm okay with it until we get Georgi Mamardashvili in the future. King Dawizzi said, we all want a left back, a CDM and a centre back, but Varela would be enough. It'd be a good window. Absolutely. It would be a window where I feel very, very positive about it and will give the credit. You can always get that from me. I promise you. I'm not afraid to admit when I'm wrong. And if we get that signing in, and I'll come in here and I will be as happy as anybody else, and I will say Richard Hughes, Michael Edwards, and FSG, fair play. That's, I can't be fairer than that. If I'm critical, I'm only too happy to give credit as well. But I'm excited. Pavoni broke the Maca news, apparently, said Aaron Staunton. Well, he works for a very good outlet over in Argentina. That's one thing I can say, mate. Gary Riding. Hopefully it'll be Craig Riding later on as well, Gary. Do you know what I mean? Varela, what? Red panty night. Whoop, whoop. Didn't put a comment in, mate, but your name was enough. We got a good segment out of that one. Any idea how good Varela is? I've a rough idea, but he's the greatest footballer that's ever laced up a pair of boots if we sign him. Not to overhype him or anything, but... What's this? So many messages coming in. So, Romano said he doesn't know anything concrete at the minute, but he said, just to clarify, he believes Varela's release clause is €65 million and not €90 million. So far, he said, though. So, you would have to imagine, right, at this point, if this had nothing to do with us, you would imagine that would be out now. If this plane has nothing to do with Liverpool, you'd have to imagine somebody like Joyce or Ornstein or Romano or somebody would have come out and said, coincidence, nothing to do with us. It hasn't. Joshua said, I saw, is Alan Varela coming to Liverpool? Potentially. That's all we know at the moment, mate. John Rowland said, does Varela have a release clause? Yes, sir. €65 million, according to Fabrizio Romano, which tallies up with the number that we were talking about earlier on of about 60 million quid. Where was the plane heading? Porto. It left Liverpool and it was heading for Porto. How much sleep do I even get? I sleep really weird hours. So I normally sleep from about 7 a.m. till about 2:30. So I get my full 7 or 8 hours, but I sleep weird times. So that's why you don't see any content come out from us between, up until about 4 o'clock. So this is peak Craig hours right now, and I am buzzing as this situation unfolds. I do need a couple of things from you guys. Do drop a like on the stream if you haven't done so. Remember to hit that subscribe button, and if you'd like to come and see the madness in person and join us for what is going to be a blockbuster show in Liverpool, Mr. Paddy Doyle is going to be on stage doing a full musical set, getting you guys bounced up and ready to go. Then Carl Porter is going to be coming on to do a comedy stand-up set as well. And then myself will take to the stage afterwards. You can get your tickets with the link in the description of this stream or at the top of the chat. It's an all ages event, meaning everybody can come along, and tickets are priced at 20 quid if you'd like to come and see us. Jones, he said, net spend. Obviously, mate, I'd have to know the numbers involved in it. As of right now, I think as of right now, this summer, we're probably parity with what we've brought in. Maybe even up a few quid. I'm just trying to think it through. So we've got the money for Fabio. We've got the money for Sepp. Obviously, Fabio, we had to give some money to Fulham. Sepp van den Berg, I think, is whatever club he came from the Netherlands. PEC Zwolle, was it? I think they're entitled to 4 million. We got some money from Solanke. Obviously, we got the Bobby Clark money. I'd say we're not too far off breaking even or being a few quid up. So if you brought Varela in, that would be the usual 45 odd million net spend. And by the way, the last update I had on those tickets, just over 50% of them were sold. And that's only after 10 days. So I don't know if they rested themselves quickly or if they'll still be there in a month's time. I truly haven't got a clue. But we are only limiting it to this theatre this time because we want it to be the experience we wanted to do the first time. And in the first time, for those of you who were there, you probably showed up wondering, huh? The theatre number 2 wasn't finished being built, so they moved us into a 590-seater theatre, which is why we had space for the other show. This one, the theatre is ready, and we're going to be capping it, I think, 249, something like that. So if you want to come along, there won't be we've released more tickets. It's what it is, what it is. Right. What's this from TRTT2K1 said? Fab just tweeted, nothing concrete to tell you. Yeah, we read that one out. He was just saying about the release clause being €65 million. Let me get this one up from Jason. Plane lands at 11:20 p.m. Will you be live then? I might be. I kind of do want to see who gets off that damn plane, to be honest with you. Kyle, thank you, mate, again for your super chat. You didn't put a comment in, Kyle, but thank you nonetheless. I think we can end the poll anyway, right? And it's gone 1% more towards yes, we think more business is being done. So actually, do you know what? We're nearly at 10,000 votes. So let's leave it up till it gets to 10,000 votes. If you haven't already voted, we asked tonight, do you think our transfer business is finished for the summer? Now remember, this was before the whole Varela stuff started to come about. So I'll leave it up to your good selves to vote away. And let's see if we can get it to 10,000 votes. The plane is just about to enter into Portugal, said Daniel Mullen. Andy said, Craig, don't play games with the cost. No installments. Make it happen. Well, if there was a release clause and we trigger it, it will have to be all up front. So, again, let's wait and see. Do you know what I'm going to be very interested to see, actually? If this does come about, if we hear that Varela was initially who we'd wanted, but couldn't get because of the 90, then went for Zubamendi. There's a lot I'd love to know. Chris, thank you so much, mate. Chris, been a member with us for 3 months. Appreciate your support. Said, I can't see there being no signings as a number 6 position after letting Bajcetic go and Slot not wanting Endo. Keep up the good work, my friend. It's important, Chris, that we point out here as well that Liverpool are keeping Tyler Morton around as things stand. So I wonder if we do bring in Varela, if we see a very, very late loan somewhere for Tyler Morton. Nick said, is Fabio Vieira, Arsenal, Porto mean Varela to us? That's what we were talking about earlier on, mate. I'd forgotten all about that until somebody said to me that, reminded me that, yes, he did sign on loan for Porto for the year from Arsenal. Morty Boy, thank you, my friend, for gifting an Anfield Agenda membership. Really appreciate that. Some prick I've never heard of just tried to troll us by saying LFC fans are living in a world of fantasy. And your problem with that is what exactly? Are you just a miserable fecker who hates seeing anyone happy, or are you worried? Because I think you're worried. When I see people talking and mocking Liverpool fans about stuff like this, it's because you're worried, isn't it? Let's be honest, between you and me, you're shitting yourself right now. Thinking, we're going to have to put up with Liverpool back on their perch again if this is possible. It's alright, mate, I get it. And also, if you're Craig curious, that's understandable as well. You're not the first and you won't be the last. I'm assuming the plane is heading to where Varela is situated. Yes, Porto is where the plane is heading to. Which is what got us excited. So we were starting the stream and we were talking about the plane pretty early doors before it even departed Liverpool. And we were wondering. We were guessing. We were trying to see is it real or not. And we didn't know. And we didn't know. But we were still dreaming. And we were still tracking. And we were still wondering. And then the dots start getting joined. And then people start reminding me about the Vieira deal to Porto. And that could be to fill out the squad a bit. Then we'd seen some reports from an Argentinian journalist to say that Liverpool have certainly inquired about Varela. Then we've seen some more reports. So now we're all just hyped up on adrenaline, waiting to see what's happening. So, breaking, Liverpool wants to make a move and sign Varela, but couldn't. FC Porto declared him non-transferable in this market. That's from another journalist at Anfield Sector are saying. So here's the thing though. Again, excuse me if I'm wrong on this. I'm not saying that information is or isn't correct. But here's what confuses me. If the player has a release clause, which he does, Porto can say what they want, but if it's triggered and paid, ain't much they can do about it. So that's what confuses me on this one. There is a release clause. That's been spoken about by multiple journalists. So if there's a release clause and Liverpool are willing to trigger said release clause, and I don't know, again, if we are or aren't, but there's not much that they can do about it. It's triple T time, if that's the case. Tough titties Turkleton. Let me just grab this super chat up on screen, my friend. Zenevdro, thank you for your super chat. Say, Craig, love your work from Australia. Welcome in, mate. Thank you for being with us. Ryan Power said, red panties. Whoop, whoop. So, if we did send the plane over on the off chance, Greta Thunberg's not going to be happy with us. If we are putting our carbon footprint down on the planet, we best make sure that we got a deal done. Another journalist is saying, Liverpool have just made a formal offer to Porto for Alan Varela. The first communication to find out a situation had already been made in April. The Argentinian duo was coming in the red midfield. I don't know who that journalist is, but I know that I want to believe him. I know I badly want to believe him. Right, another one from Kyle. Lads, let's keep hitting that subscribe button as well. And if you haven't subscribed to the Clips channel, it's my dream to get a second silver play button for a Clips channel related to our main account. So scan the QR code in the bottom right corner or check out Anfield Agenda Clips. Kyle said, hi Craig, do you reckon... One sec, mate. I need to scroll this across. Sorry. Drag. There you go. Craig, do you reckon Xabi will be well received upon his managerial return to Anfield? Surely it'll be interesting. Not just the crowds, but the reaction. Oh, he'll be, mate. Of course. Xabi Alonso will get a hero's welcome when he returns to Anfield. Because regardless of anything else, that was always going to be... That's just the way Liverpool fans are, mate. And Alonso left because Rafa basically... I won't say had a falling out with him, but wanted Gareth Barry. So he left and he went to Real Madrid. It wasn't he left in bad blood or anything like that with the fans or anything. So yes, Xabi Alonso will get an incredible warm welcome. And I hope to be there to give him that incredible warm welcome. Because that's the game I'm hoping to go over to. So yeah, I'll certainly be standing and giving him a cheer anyway. Until the game kicks off, in which case I'll want him to be miserable. But after the game finishes, again, a legend. If Hughes is on that plane, I get credit for my guess, said Casper's Photography. No problem, mate. Happy to do that. Essex Copite said, just thought there's no mountains in Porto, right? No. Do you know what they're probably going to do? And I would imagine this is the case. So when I go to Portugal, they're always big on peri-peri chicken, as you know. And Liverpool boasts an incredible amount of Nando's. So I'm sure if Alan Varela likes a bit of peri-peri chicken, between Nabsies, between Nando's, and between many of the other fine establishments in the wonderful city of Liverpool, that his culinary needs can be met. Craig, love from Denmark. What is this plane you're talking about? So, when I say it out loud, it sounds quite silly. But there is a plane that left Liverpool this evening around 9 o'clock and is headed to Porto. What I cannot say with any degree of certainty is if that has to do with Liverpool Football Club and if any members of Liverpool Football Club staff were on that plane. Coincidentally, a lot of people over the last hour have started leaking, and journalists to say Liverpool are trying to sign Varela, who plays for Porto, who has a release clause. So again, this looks like a race against time to try and get a deal or that clause triggered. Now, let me say this. Do you think, after the Zubamendi situation, that Richard Hughes and Michael Edwards and Liverpool Football Club would want to put themselves in a position where they couldn't get a deal done? I would imagine that if they're on that plane, that they are willing to trigger the release clause if necessary, but would probably rather agree a structured deal. I cannot for 1 second believe that they want to face further embarrassment. So I believe that if they are on the plane and if they are going to try and sign Varela, that they must feel pretty damn confident that they're going to get it done or that they can trigger that clause. That's my thinking as I sit here now looking at the situation. If we sign Varela, can we get a fourth centre-back in Jan? What is stopping us from challenging for it all? So if we sign Varela and we don't lose Gomez, we have 4 centre-backs and Nat Phillips, which is worth acknowledging is potentially okay until January of the summer. Certainly it leaves us enough bodies to cope with a couple of injuries at centre-back. And also, something's written in the stars here. If Nat Phillips ended up being our 5th choice centre-back and staying at the club until the end of his contract, the fact that we're playing AC Milan away from home in the Champions League on the hallowed ground that Nat Phillips owns, basically, when he turned in his own penalty area with a wonderful Cruyff turn and made Ibrahimovic look like a fool. It's written in the stars, right? Sticks and Stones said, Anfield sector, Liverpool made formal offer for Porto. Yeah, we spoke about that a minute ago. The exact wording was, Liverpool have just made a formal offer to Porto for Alan Varela. The first communication to find out a situation had been made in April. Again, I'm going to get through as many of your super chats here as I can. If this is Hughes, I'm going to run down the road naked. I want proof of that, please. Flight will land in 20 minutes, said Farron Davies. Yep. It's hopefully, I would imagine, there are paparazzi or journalists at that airport now ready to snap who's getting off that plane. Jordan Hunnable said, I don't understand, if he wasn't plan B 2 weeks ago, why is he plan B the day before the end of the window? Maybe, again, I'm trying to think out loud, Jordan, sorry. Maybe they were communicating, trying to get to something. Maybe there was no movement. Maybe after they signed Vieira from Arsenal, Porto felt like they weren't as vulnerable in the situation if they lost Varela. That's, again, thinking out loud, trying to process this in real time. That would be my guess. Is it Varela? No, Varela. V-A-R-E-L-A. Came from Boca Juniors. I think he played in the Olympics for Argentina this summer. I think he's 23 if my memory's right. And no, it's Varela. V-A. Craig, if Varela comes in, do you think Slot plays him and Grafenberg together in the middle? Oh, I don't know, bro. I don't know. Like, I'm still in dreamy mode at the minute. I haven't even had a chance to think about what might be possible. His current deal ends in 2028, said Mark, so extending that doesn't make any sense. Again, I struggle to believe that Liverpool would, if, and again, God, it's a big if this is Liverpool and if they're on the plane and if these stories about our interest is true, I don't think they're going to fail. They know the ridicule that's coming if they don't get another number 6 target over the line. Tchouaméni, Caicedo, Lavia, Zubamendi, they will know that this one needs to be completed. And the player is certainly open to the idea of a Premier League move, hasn't grown up living in Porto, and there's a release clause. So I would have to be confident that Liverpool feel like he's open to it and that they can make that release clause and then get it done. Sagan said, I think Craig missed my super chat. I thought I read that one out, mate. Yeah, I did. I read it out, Sean. Sorry. You talked about 4 choice centre-back in January, and I said to you, we already have 4 centre-backs. Spoke about Nat Phillips. So I did read your super chat out, mate. Bellingham isn't a defensive midfielder, Travis. So that's why I didn't mention Bellingham in that list. Everybody else I mentioned there was a deep-lying or central midfield player. I feel an all-nighter brewing, not going to lie, said Adam Christmas. So, what do I do now? Do I continue to stream? Or do I say goodnight and record a video? When it happens or doesn't happen? I feel like I should keep streaming. But I don't want to ruin people's nights or by dragging it out. So I'll let you guys let me know in the chat what you want me to do. Let me just grab a couple more. Where's this one? Right, Adam said, I feel an all-nighter brewing, not going to lie. Jamal, welcome in Jamal. Jamal said, please keep streaming. I'm so invested now. I'll tell you what, let's do a little bit of quid pro quo here. If any of you wonderful people have not subscribed to the Anfield Agenda Clips channel, now would be a lovely time to jump across to that Clips channel and hit that subscribe button to help us try and get that towards our dream. So let's go quid pro quo. Happy to stay on, but need a little favour from you guys as well. And if you haven't subscribed on here, please do. Giraffe Lord said, I wonder how many Liverpool fans are watching Fly NJE 735k on Fly Tracker, or is it just me? Keep up the good work. I would say a lot. I'd say the people at Fly Tracker are going, what is all this traffic for? There's a lot of traffic here on the site. Kyle, how are you, my man? Said the Kiesa deal was amazing to get done. Maybe the best deal to date under FSG, but only if they can fill the missing gaps in the squad. Surely with sales this year, a centre-back or CDM has to be feasible. Well, we reckon we're in and around break-even point so far in this window. So certainly you would imagine the wiggle room is there financially. And thank you so much, Kyle, by the way. That's a very generous super chat, mate. Really appreciate it. Matt said, please continue. This is hilarious and exciting. I know, I love these type of nights, mate. I do. Alistair said, official bid has been made. You're up all night. Alex said, my Twitter won't refresh anymore. Stay on. Oh, what's this on Pearce? No, someone says Pearce to me, I get a shiver down my spine. Why? James Pearce is just always pisses on everyone's cornflakes. James Pearce has said Liverpool are not planning a late move for Porto's Alan Varela. Jordan Hunnable, welcome to Anfield Agenda Ultras. Let me say this. If he's wrong on this, that's his credibility gone. Because he was wrong on the goalkeeper when he said we weren't going in for him, we've signed one. If indeed Liverpool are trying to sign Varela and he's wrong, credibility gone out the window. Like, no coming back from it. Oh. White Hammer said, there it is, with regards to the negative James Pearce tweet that we were waiting for. Ricky Paul said, Pearce said no, it's on, boys and girls. Cal said, based on the goalkeeper info, we are definitely in for him. Alan Varela's mind said, me in midfield with McAllister, ignore Mr. Pearce. Farron Davey said, rumours going around, fee already agreed in Porto, but so this is very confusing, isn't it? I'm very confused by this because James Pearce is the first English-based journalist I've seen speak about it. Dave O.C. Kopp and others were saying, yes, it is. James Pearce has said, it isn't. So, let's... I don't know where we're at now. I think a lot of us are very confused right now. Because it's gone from like the plane to journalists coming out and saying that we'd inquired in April, we'd continue to inquire. Now all of a sudden, James Pearce has come out and said Liverpool are not planning a late move for Porto's Alan Varela. I'm very confused. So, for me, Mr. James Pearce's credibility is on the line in this transfer or lack of transfer. If he's right, fair play. If he's wrong, then that is two very, 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 very big wrongs in one window. I've been reading online, I'm fluent in Spanish. People say German Garcia Grova is the Fabrizio Romano of Argentina. Take that as you will. Look, mate, I've got no idea what's credible or what isn't credible at the moment. Michael Lynch said, he also said we are not in for a goalkeeper, so keep believing. I know, which is why... Yeah, I don't... He must be really confident this isn't true. Because surely he's aware how wrong he was about the goalkeeper situation. Because he wrote that on the day where the news had already been out there that Liverpool were looking at Georgi Mamardashvili. So... Mark Baffin said anything Liverpool on Instagram said it is Varela. Look, as I said all the way through the night, I'm the same as you guys on this. I am just waiting to figure out what's going on. I don't have a source in this one. I'm sitting back trying to figure out. Jamie Meller said, Craig, have you seen David Ornstein's post? No. Haven't been sent anything from David Ornstein tonight at all. Yeah, no, not seen anything from David Ornstein tonight with regards to Liverpool anyway. Again, everybody asking me, I don't know. I haven't got a clue what's happening right now. Let me just end this poll anyway. We've had over 10,000 votes. 54% of you guys think that there is the possibility of more business, and 46% say no. Maybe they asked to put off any other clubs. Look, I haven't got a clue. Maybe I'm reading too much into this, but as I'm thinking and reading exactly what James Pearce wrote, all he said is Liverpool are not planning a late move for Porto's Alan Varela. He didn't say Liverpool aren't doing anything. Again, I could be reading too much into that. Yeah, David Ornstein has said nothing about Liverpool anyway. We've checked into that one. Again, I'm reading through some of your comments here. God, I wish sometimes James Pearce had just stopped tweeting. I thought he has the reputation as bad news Pearce for a reason. He's always putting a negative spin, even if he's right. It's still not great. It still doesn't help. I guess it does help some people, but it ruins the fun. Matt Schaub said, my view is this could be wishful thinking, but Fabrizio Romano or David Ornstein would surely say we're not signing anyone rather than talk about his clause. To be fair, Romano did say he has no indication one way or the other if Liverpool are interested or not. He just clarified what he believes the release clause is for Varela, which was €65 million. Anything from Paul Joyce? No, nothing else. So let's go back through what we've learned over the last couple of hours. It started off with a post from Julio Pavoni, or a journalist, Julio Pavoni, who said Liverpool wants Varela, Boca retains 20% of a future sale. Then after that, we had confirmation of that journalist works for an Argentinian outlet that covers Boca. Then we had Jermaine, I don't know how you pronounce this, Garcia Grova, who said that Liverpool are making one last attempt to sign Varela. They had contract 2 weeks ago and told it was €90 million. Somebody else messaged me to say that guy was very reliable with regards to Argentinian stuff. Then we had another post to say that Liverpool want Varela, they're following him, and Boca are aware of the situation. Boca retains 20% of his future sale. Then a different Anfield sector posted Liverpool wanted to make a move and sign Varela but couldn't. Porto declared him non-transferable. Then another post after that said Liverpool have just made a formal offer to Porto for Alan Varela. The first communication to find out the situation had already been made in April. That was credited an account called @LuisFregosi. And then we had the James Pearce one that said no, Liverpool aren't making a move for Varela. Righteous Gamer said the plane's landing in 6 minutes in Porto. So I feel like I should at least stay on until the plane lands and we put this situation to bed one way or the other. In Porto, that they're writing the Porto won't sell him. The thing about that is, Hugo, and again, mate, I'm not trying to say that we don't, or that's not right, but he has a release clause. So that's the only thing, you know. A club, if there's a release clause in there, clubs can do what they want if somebody pays it. There's not much they can do about it. But we're all just waiting here to see what happens when this goddamn plane lands. So, back to the very start of the night. If the window ends without a central midfielder and a centre-back, it's an unacceptable, shambolic 3 out of 10 window. If we get one of those in, then we have a far better look on the window. But if we end this window with a goalkeeper for the future, maybe selling Kelleher, selling Carvalho, selling Van den Berg, selling Clark, and bringing in Kiesa, then the owners are going to have a lot of questions to answer again. But it's been the whole transfer window summarised in one night tonight, I think. Forget Pearce, said King Darwizi. Matt said, how will we know if Hughes is there? If Hughes gets off a plane on a runway, because it's a private jet, remember, somebody will get a snap of that. There will be a photographer there somewhere, if that's the case. So yeah, we're all hanging around at the minute to see what happens. Craig or anyone else, if we sign the player and it's a here we go, can the contract signing and medical be done after the window closes? You can apply for a deal sheet, which gives you an extra hour or two, but nothing more than that. Because for the player to be registered, that would mean he's a club's player. So if he failed the medical, you've already agreed the registration. Kyle said, Craig, were you disappointed to see Andre go to Wolves? Felt like he could be a good solution for a problem and since a premature sale of Fabinho? Not really, no. I wasn't really thinking too strongly one way or the other about Andre Trinidad once our interest seemed to have cooled in him. Mary said it was an exciting night, but Pearce put a dampener on it. How good is Kiesa exactly? Solanke good. It depends what version of Federico Chiesa we get. He scored 10 goals and 3 assists last year. He played 37 games for Juventus. To give you some of his statistics from his career at Juventus with regards to where he played 34% of his time at Juventus as a striker, 21% on left side and 16% on the right side. So he's a very versatile player that can play right across the front line. So the plane has landed. The plane has landed. Now we just need to see scenes now where some businesswoman or something gets off the plane and thinking, why are all these photographers here? Callum, thank you for your super chat, Callum. He said, every year we're told we won't be doing business on the last day of the window and not to expect anything. They haven't this year, so I have hope. I really don't know. I haven't got a clue. I'm still none the wiser. Do sporting directors usually travel? Yes. Yes. They would travel late to try and get a deal done, yes. Again, Kieran Lynch said that Pearce is a mood killer, although he got the goalkeeper wrong. I think he got another one wrong as well. I think he said that we weren't signing Thiago when we signed Thiago, although I might be wrong on that. Jordan Hunnable said, had a Nando's today, it's written in the stars. I swear to God this is true. I have 2 pieces of chicken marinated in the fridge in Nando's medium sauce right now. That is going to be my dinner this evening. I'm not even joking. He said Alisson wasn't signing as well. Somebody else said. So again, let's wait and see. 6,000 people in the chat right now. Welcome in to all of you. If you haven't already subscribed, please do. Welcome along to the madness that is the last 23 hours and 45 minutes of this transfer window. Medium, you pansy. Mate, that's me going balls out. Do you know, I was a plainish person. So give me some credit. You know, I've gone to medium here. For me, that's like a big deal. But you're right, I am a pussy when it comes to temperature of food. I can't take spicy food. Harry said Edwards will be wearing a mask to keep unknown. I don't think Edwards will be there, to be fair. I think this would be a Richard Hughes situation. I wouldn't be expecting Edwards to be involved in it. Would I take João Gomes for Liverpool? Look, I've said this all the way through. I think the fairest I can be to say is, whoever the club picks in any position, if it's a position that we need sorting in, I have to put my faith that the club have made the right decision. So if, and it's a big if, that situation came around, then I would back the player and believe the club have got it right until proven otherwise. What's the time difference between England and Ireland? None. We're on the same time. What have we got? Edwards or Hughes wearing a Bowley mask. No way you're still alive. I rate it. Of course I am. I live for this, man. I live for this. Am I going to Coldplay? No, I'm not, Keith. No. Who do I rate more, Varela or Zubamendi? If neither of them sign for us, they're both frauds. Does the window not close 11 p.m. tomorrow night? Yes, it does. Tomorrow night, 11 p.m. That's what I said. 23 hours and 43 minutes now till the window shuts. Shane said parking in the general aviation section as per all jets, no access to the public there. Well, look, mate, they'll be waiting at the gates of that airport to see what's coming out. Don't be ruining my dreams. It's 12:30 and you're still on air. I know, we need some answers on this one. Do I think Kiesa will get minutes against United? Absolutely not. No. I think we probably won't see him until after the international break. Nottingham Forest at home would be my guess for Chiesa's first minutes. I mean, it makes sense, doesn't it? Bring him off the bench, get a big standing ovation, round of applause. Welcome to the club. There has to be a reason the Varela stuff came out. Well, there could well be. A plane going from Liverpool to Porto is the start of all the madness. Then the stories started to come out from journalists, certainly on the Argentinian side, I think it's fairer to say. Paul Gorst has also denied it now. So that's two Liverpool-centric journalists who have said it isn't happening. James Pearce and Mr. Paul Gorst of the Echo. So then, I don't know what we're to believe. If this is the end of our transfer window, and again, there's still 23 hours and 41 minutes, but if this is the end of the transfer window, it's an unacceptable window. If this is the end of it. Christoph Hallas said deadline day will be busy. I don't know, mate. I hope so. So look, what I'm going to do is say goodnight and go and read up, make some calls, try and figure out what's going on. And if there's anything to it, we'll figure it out. But as we sit here right now, James Pearce has said Liverpool are not planning a late move for Porto's Alan Varela. And Paul Gorst said, fair to say, Liverpool interest in Alan Varela has been robustly dismissed. So two Liverpool English-based journalists have said no dice with regards to Varela. What am I going to do on the stage? Own it. Like I do every time I'm on the stage, mate. What do you think I might do on the stage? Talk football, maybe? Have a laugh with people? I'm hardly going to be on there giving a chess masterclass. So, I'm going to go and say goodnight to you. I'm going to record a roundup video. That's going to be out in a few minutes. If anything changes, of course we'll be back at some point. But as of right now, it looks like no dice on Varela. Really, really disappointing. And look, as the window in general, it's just been not good enough if we haven't brought in a centre midfielder and a centre back. So I will say goodnight to you all until tomorrow anyway. Keep an eye out for that video, and I will catch up with you guys tomorrow. Until then, don't forget, drop a like for me, hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so, and thank you so much to everyone tonight. It's been a fun evening, even if we didn't get a positive end to it. Oh, God. So difficult. So difficult. Yeah, love you all. Talk to you tomorrow.